93 WIBC, WIBC.com. This man is going for, if my math is correct, what would be his 5th NCAA title to close out a sterling college career and a sterling career overall as one of the best high jumpers in the world and one of the best athletes, frankly, that IU has ever seen. And that's saying something. And yet the casual sports fan may not know the name Derek Drouin. He just set a Canadian national record in addition to an IU and Big Ten record in the high jump. And this Friday is when he competes for another national title. And Derek has been good enough to spend a few minutes with us from Eugene, Oregon, where or at least some of the IU track team is competing in the national championships. Derek, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Friday is your event, the high jump. This would be, am I correct? This would be 5 national titles if you're able to pull it out, 3 indoor, and this would be your 2nd outdoor title.
Yeah, that's correct. Fingers crossed for the 5th title.
Now, yeah, that's true. Fingers crossed. Don't want to jump ahead of ourselves, so to speak. But now, correct me if I'm wrong. You might have had another outdoor title under your belt, were it not for an injury a couple years ago. Is that right?
I'd like to think that I was pretty much on the top of my game come the injury. So, but you never know what's going to happen.
Now, I know you never say never, and you never count your eggs before they hatch, as they say. But it's been another wonderful season for you so far. I mean, you had a great indoor season, won the national title there in the high jump. Outdoor season, the record you set, that was at the pre-classic, the Prefontaine Classic out there in Oregon, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That jump was how high?
It's 236 meters, which equates to 7.8 3/4.
And that is not only the IU record, the Big Ten record, that's the best high jump ever for a Canadian. How does that feel to be in the Canadian record books?
It was pretty special. Canada has a list of pretty high up high jumpers, so I'm definitely proud to be a part of that and to actually to get my name in the record books for that event.
And amazingly enough, that only was good enough for 3rd place, though.
Yeah, that is true. But obviously I don't like to lose. But if I jump at the bar and get 3rd, then obviously someone else was doing something right. So it's hard to be upset.
Tell me about the factors, and for those of us who are, again, just the casual sports fan, there's a lot of folks may not watch track except for the Olympics every 4 years. By the way, bronze medalist from the Olympics last year, the 2012 London Games, you were. What goes into a high jump competition, particularly an outdoor competition? How is the weather much of a factor, depending on the wind and stuff like that? How does all that work?
Yeah, it can be a factor for sure, especially a lot of high jumpers are very light, so the wind likes to sort of carry us a little more than the shot putters. But we had some great conditions in Eugene. There was just a little bit of wind, but clear skies, and we really couldn't have asked for much better.
I imagine it's like any other athletic endeavor. You go out there, you do your warm-ups, you go through your paces, and some days you feel it, and some days you don't, as far as how high you might jump at a particular meet.
That is true. That is kind of how it works.
Derek Drouin is with us. He is jumping for IU one more time, his senior year, trying to win another national title, along with the other IU track team members who are competing at the NCAA Outdoor Championships, Eugene, Oregon, this week. Derek's event is on Friday. So how high do you think you can jump, Derek? You've set the Canadian record. That's as high as you've ever jumped. How high do you think you can go?
Well, it's been a goal. It's been a goal for my, collegiate career to not walk away without getting the collegiate record. So I've left it to my very last meet if that's going to happen. And right now the record is 238, which I think is about 7.9 and a quarter, or 7.9 and a half. So I've had a couple looks at that, and I think they've been encouraging. So hopefully that's certainly the goal for this weekend, and then hopefully I'll be able to walk away with that.
Have you jumped that in practice before?
No, I generally don't jump too high in practice. I like to save it for the meet.
Okay. Well, I was curious about that. How high? Yeah, how much output is there in practice? Do you use that primarily to just work on technique for when you do get up to those higher heights?
Yeah, that's for sure. I use it more of technique and do a lot of just short approach, things like that in practice.
Where do you go from here, regardless of what happens at the NCAAs this week?
Well, I'm gonna be heading home actually to jump in a meet in Toronto. Actually, right from here, I'm gonna be flying right from Oregon, so that'll be sort of the first stop in my post-collegiate or professional track career, I guess.
I've always been curious about, ever since the professionalism came into track and field, because this was one of those endeavors where it was supposed to be strictly amateur for a long time. It's no longer the case. Where do you have to go? Do you have to go to Europe a lot to compete, to make the money in track?
Yeah, that's certainly where the bigger sort of competition is, and where you can really make money. Track does very well in Europe. I got a little taste of it last summer. Was kind of blown away by the number of fans that would come out to a meet that only lasted a couple hours, but they promoted so well, and and the fans just love it. So that's why everyone sort of gets all the American or North American athletes attracted over to Europe.
Because I know in the States, outside of where you guys are this week for the NCAA Championships, Eugene, Oregon, it's hard to get folks excited about a track meet, at least from what I understand.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, Eugene seems to be the track capital of America. They show up there. Well, Derek, it's always good to talk to you. We consider you Canada's greatest athlete, at least since Iron Mike Sharpe, if you get the wrestling reference there. But good luck in the NCAA tournament this week, and hope you bring home another one for yourself, and good luck to you from here on out.
Thank you very much. I appreciate